Hi, this is Chrissie B with beautifulcreatives.com. Tonight I thought I would show you, for my technique video tonight, I would show you how I travel with art supplies. Now I am constantly traveling to go to different art events, play nights with my friends, different teaching things that I do. This is the kit that I take with me pretty much everywhere, and the only time this kit actually gets revised is if I'm gonna go through airport security, because I want to make sure there's nothing in there that could potentially get me stopped because I have liquids in here. So the bag that I use is the Happy Planner Create 365 bag. This is not for a planner, but I love it because it's got multiple pockets with little pouches that can unvelcro. And it's really a great little tool, or great little bag, and it's got a lot of space in it. You're gonna see I can keep so much stuff in here. Now, me being ADD, especially when it comes to art supplies, I kind of prepare myself for everything. I like to do art journaling. I like to journal, like, dear diary, blah, 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 blah. This is what happened today. I have that kind of diary set up in here. The only thing that I would carry outside of this, if I want anything more than this bag, would be an actual art journal. And that is different depending on my mood, really. But I have no problems taking a full-size journal with this, something like this, and then just keep it all together. And then it's pretty contained. So, without further ado, let's take a peek at what I've got going on in here. So there are two sets of zippers. They unzip all the way around the bag, which is really, really nice. They come all the way back, so I can lay the bag completely flat. And this first section, which is actually the back, to me, the way that I have this set up, the place with the little patch on it is the back of the bag. So we're gonna start with the back first, because why not? Now again, I have a lot of stuff in here, and the reason I have so much stuff, such a variety of stuff especially, is because I really don't know what I'm going to feel like doing until I get to wherever it is to actually be doing it. So I always keep my small set of Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons with me. That's always awesome. You never know when you're going to need those. I keep an extra set of Derwent ink pens. This is not a complete set, but it is quite a lot of pencils. I don't know if you can see how many there are there. And I just keep those in a little zipper pouch, so they're very handy. Sometimes what I will do is I will leave the big bag in the hotel room and just take the actual thing that I'm going to be using. But this way I still have choices. And that is that little pocket there. Then in this zipper here, this is where I keep all of my stamps. And I do keep a lot of stamps with me when I go out into the world to art. I have a newspaper stamp. Actually, this is dictionary page stamp. There's a handwriting stamp here. I have a few of these. I love texture stamps because they're small and they're really portable. I like to keep them in the container that they come in. They're just really easy to keep together on a little ring. So it's super handy. And I don't have to worry about losing things, especially when I'm working on like an airplane, the little tables that are in the airplanes. They just kind of hang on. If I go to drop one, as long as I've got the ring or I've got one of the stamps, and they all will stay up with me. So that's those. I also keep a couple of my favorite texture stamps from Tim Holtz and Dina Wakley. I just really like these stamps. They're really small. They have a lot of different textures. That's always really handy for me because I usually can't decide. I always want something different. Sometimes I keep them in the container, the little package that it comes in. Sometimes I do not. I don't really have a preference one way or the other. Sometimes I get a little impatient and it seems a little too fussy to put it back in the packaging, which is why this one is out. The other thing I have in this pocket, I have one of the Dina Wakley journal blocks, and that's this one back here. And I also have a dressmaker's gauge. Now, having these on hand are really handy because I can make straight lines. It's kind of flexible, so I don't really have to worry about, doing anything to it. And I do keep this in the package so that I don't lose them, that they just kind of stay together. But it's nice to be able to make different lines and rulers, straight lines, without having to like freehand it. I'm not terribly good at doing straight lines, so this is very, very handy for me. Now this little guy here is a self-made book, and it's all my Peerless watercolors. I created a color swatch guide here of all of the colors I have, and each color is numbered. I don't actually know the name of them here. I'll show you that in the back here. But I have a sheet of plastic over the top of that, and if I want, I can use this plastic as my palette. So that's pretty handy. And then I have one swatch for every color. So each one of these are the Peerless watercolors. And then I've got a piece of plastic in between each page to kind of keep them separated. And then if one of my chips end up getting used all the way, which these take so long to use, I just love this little setup, that I have this little guide back here that I created that tells me what, by number, what the actual name is. And it also tells me there's a little shape next to each name that tells me which set it was in, whether it was the original set, the bonus pack set, the pretty in pink set, the dry spot set. Those were the sets that I had. And so I can quickly and easily go to my full Peerless watercolors and replace anything that I might be needing. But that's just a little portable little palette thingy that I made for myself. And there are quite a lot of colors in here. There are 64 colors in this thing, and it's really, really nice. I especially love this for going through an airport because it's completely dry. So there is that. And that little pocket is done. This little pocket here, this pencil kit, this pencil bag, is where I keep all of my brushes, my regular dry brushes. I have just a random assortment here. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7. I have 7 brushes here, just really just random. And as long as they fit in the little pouch, I call it good. So that goes in this little bag. I have my Staedtler, I don't know if I'm saying that right, my Staedtler 10 Tripless fine liner pens. I really like these for my little journal that I have in here. I do have a journal in here, you'll see that. And I like using those for that, so I like the little assortment of colors that I have. I always keep a Punchinella with me because I love polka dots. And so I use this quite often. I always keep a little piece with me no matter where I go. So that's always a must, and it doesn't take hardly any space at all. I keep some Daniel Smith Ultra Extra Fine watercolors in here. I always keep lemon yellow, cobalt blue, Perylene red, Chinese white, and black tourmaline. So these are really just a quick and easy set. I don't take this set on an airplane. I don't want them taking my little set away from me because I really love it. But I did just see someone who had taken an Altoids tin and created a little portable palette with that. So I think I'm going to do that with that. And I think if I do that and slip that inside of here, it'll actually take up less space. And then I can keep the extra at my house instead of having to take it with me in my little bag. So that's cool. Because I like stamping, I always keep 2 StazOn, a jet black and a timber brown with me. That is always very handy to have. I buy re-inker, so I make sure that they're always nice and juicy. I always keep alphabet stamps in my kit. I really, really, really love words. Words and I are having a love affair, and I just love me some words. So I have tons of these little alphabet block sets. They're very inexpensive. Usually you can buy them for about $3. You can sometimes find them less. I really like this particular set, but I do trade this out quite often. So, and I do keep them in the packaging so they kind of stay together. I have MAC lip conditioner here. This is my favorite lip conditioner. I always find that when I'm arting, I remember arting in my world is a verb, I find that whenever I'm arting, it really helps to have lip conditioner on hand so I don't have to worry about cracked lips. Just, I don't know, it just takes the pressure off of anything else. I just want to focus on arting, that's it. I usually have a Yoo-Hoo glue stick. Sometimes I have a large Yoo-Hoo glue stick as well. This is the small. This is my favorite glue stick, so I always have one of these. I even carry this in my purse. I don't know, you never know when you need to like adhere something down to something. I usually keep a couple of golden fluid acrylics in here. Again, this is not for flying. I don't take these in here when I'm flying. But these colors seem a little bit random, but these are little half fluid ounce bottles. And they're just little samples that you get when you go to a Golden's class or anything. So I really love these guys, and I do carry them with me because I do like working with my acrylic paints a lot. Oh my gosh, we just have so much stuff in here. I always keep a correction fluid, like a whiteout tape. That's what this is. This is really awesome for making really crisp, bright white lines. It's also good for making like little squares. I just really love this little guy. I just think it is so awesome to have that in my kit. I have another little mesh. This is a mesh pencil bag, and I've had it for eons. I have a Tombow mono permanent adhesive. Very nice when you're in a hurry, you just want to get something stuck down rather quickly. I also have a 1/2 inch corner punch and a 1 inch round quarter punch. So I have 2 of those. I always keep those with me. I actually love these. I just think it makes the corners of your pages, whatever you're using, really kind of professional looking. So I always have a set of those on hand. And I have one of these little, can you see that? This little dauber thingy. I really find this is awesome for antiquing the edges of whatever you're working on, or just getting some ink color down onto whatever texture you're using. So I always try to keep 1 or 2 of these on hand. I just use those with my stays on. And I love me some washi tape, honey. Now this is barely any of my collection at all, and this little traveling set is always changing, but I always just put as much washi tape in this little mesh bag that I can. I try to keep it as flat as possible. That's kind of the general rule of thumb. If it's not flat, it's probably not going with me. But you can see it's quite an assortment. I usually do keep a lot of black and white with me just because it seems to go with everything. I really like that a lot. And I have washi tape everywhere. Washi tape is kind of my thing. So I know there's a lot of you out there, we have like little washi tape addiction, but I'm not going to a 12-step program because I don't want to admit that I have a problem, but that's what those are. Okay, so we've gotten through this half of the bag. Flip it over. Now for me, this is the front of the bag. This is the part of the bag that I usually keep open the whole time I'm arting. I just open it and just leave it flat on my table like this. This is generally how you would see my stuff. Now, where to begin? So this is what sold me on this 365 planner bag, was this little guy. You could take these little bags out, and they're just little zipper bags. They're Velcro on the back. And I have so much stuff in these. It is awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna dump it out, so forgive me here. I usually try to keep them a little more organized than they are right now, but when I have been out to a lot of different classes, they have a tendency to get kind of mixed up, and that's okay. I'm totally cool with that. I always keep a grown-up pair of scissors, a big girl set of scissors in here, and I always keep a little tiny fussy cut set for like smaller, delicate things. So I always keep both of those with me. Okay, and that goes in one bag. I like to keep 2 Sharpie watercolor paint pens. So this one is, let's see, this one's extra fine, and this one is fine. So I like those a lot. Lot. I also keep 2, I love working with Inkjoy pens, especially in my journal. I really like Inkjoy pens because I write at a very weird angle, I think, because not a lot of pens work for me. They skip a lot, and they do a funny scratching noise, which drives me bananas. But I really like these pens. They're 2 4-ink color pens, and there's like the standard red, blue, green, and black, and then this one is like a pastel-y. It's got lime, pink, light blue, and a lavender. So I just love these, and I always have them with me. Let's see, doodling is big in my world too, so I always keep 2 of the Faber-Castell Pitt artist pens with me. I love to keep a small and an extra small. I find that when I do Zentangle or just any kind of doodling in general with the extra small, people are really impressed, like, how in the world did you do that? And honey, let me tell you, these pens are divine. They're awesome. Let's see, a couple more pens. Now this pen is, I work at a hospital, so we get drug rep pens all the time. This happens to be a hospice pen. It's just like advertising for this company. However, I love this pen so much because it's got a really great gel ink in it, and it's a black ink. And I find that this pen writes on top of everything. So I hoard this little pen, hoard it, because I just love it so, so much. But I can't imagine not having it with me. I also keep a Sharpie pen. These are not my absolute favorite. I think that they have a tendency not to be quite as bold as I like. I don't know, for those of you who watch a lot of my videos, you'll know that most of my stuff is very bright and vibrant and lots of color. And this seems to be a little bit mousy, but sometimes mousy is what I want, especially if I'm doing something in the background. So if I'm sketching out a background, I'll use this little tiny Sharpie pen. And then I have the last of these pens in this particular set are the, what are you called? The Jelly Roll pens. I have a black and then I have a white with glitter in it. It's a clear with glitter actually. And those get quite a lot. This is a glaze pen. The black one's a glaze pen, so it kind of dries raised a little bit, and it's just got a really cool kind of texture to it. And then I really like the clear one because of the little bit of glitter that it's got in it. Can't go bad with a little bit of glitter. I always have water brushes with me. I really use these with my Peerless watercolor set. I also use it with my Inktense pencils, and I also use it with my I use it with anything else? Maybe not. Maybe I just use this for my Inktense pencils. Oh, and the watercolor crayons, the Caran d'Ache. I use those for that as well. So those all fit in there. As well as a mini mister. I don't know, they fit, so I just couldn't leave it behind. I like to spray some of my watercolors and let them kind of spread. That's how I do that. And then I always have a little plastic palette knife with me. It's inexpensive. You usually find them for less than $1. I just like them so much, so why not? It fits. This case is more for like drawing. So again, these have gotten a little bit mixed up, so I'm just gonna dump this out. These are my must-haves for drawing. I always keep one of these Ellipse pencil sharpener. I just love them so much because they really are self-contained. They keep all of the pencil shavings in there, and it does a really good job of making a nice crisp point, so that's always really nice. Let's see, I have so much goodness in here. I have a whiteout pen, which is different than the Sharpie pens. I don't know, I just like these. They make they're not quite as crisp as a Sharpie pen, but I like when I need a scratchy white line. This is really good to do that. It's a big whiteout pen, so I like that. I keep a few different kinds of pencils with me. Let's see, okay, my must-have pencils. I have 2 pencils that I must have. One is the Art Alternatives 2mm pencil. It's kind of has a thick point on it. I don't know if you can see that terribly well. That's the black one. The blue one is a Staedtler Mars Technico pencil. I love them so much. I like them because they have really thick leads, so they can make really soft but thick pencil marks, which I really like. I like the different variations of pencil marks that you can do with them. I also keep a couple of extra leads with me, so that way I'm always ready. And then this is the Staedtler kind, and this is the Art Alternatives kind, so I keep extra leads for both of those in my kit. Let's see. My favorite white pen is a Uniball Signo broad pen. I always keep one of those with me. I always keep a Pilot Multiball. That's my favorite black doodling pen. I like this a lot. I don't know how I'd ever live without it. I keep a few erasers, and I keep a few kinds of erasers. So I'm a big believer in using your pencils and then erasing your little heart away. And you just keep the lines that you want, but keep the lines that make you happy. So I have one of the Pentel Click erasers. These are awesome. I have them everywhere, in my purse, in my art bag, on my nightstand. I really do. I have them everywhere. I just love them so much. They're really nice and soft, and they really do a good job of taking off all of the eraser marks, or all of the pencil marks. I have a Sanford Peel Off Magic Rub pencil eraser. This one's a little firmer, but it's really, really kind of thick. So that's really good, but it doesn't do such a great job for getting into really tiny details, and that's what this one is for. This is the Tough Stuff eraser stick. It's a really, really firm eraser too, and because it's that same white eraser material, it does such a great job of erasing, but because it's so small, it does a great job of getting into little teeny tiny itty bitty spots, which I love that. And then I have a little Staedtler Mars plastic eraser. It's just a little mini one. One, I thought it was adorable because look, come on, look how tiny it is. It's so cute. But I just really love having it. It's just so handy. Then the last of my pencils. My husband is a contractor, so when I found that he had one of these contractor pencils, and it's not the old-fashioned square one, it's a big round one. I fell in love with it, and I actually stole some from him. So what he did was he ended up going and buying me a box of them. So I always have these on hand as well. I love doodling with them and making marks for really grunging up a page. I do a regular Ticonderoga and the contractor's pencil. I really like those a lot. And they fit, so why not? And then you will see me use these for almost every art page that I do. And these are the Stabilo All pencils. I have a blue one, a green one, a black one, and a brown one. Invaluable. I love them. I love them because you can use them just as they are. You can activate them with water, and they kind of give you a smudgy, kind of grungy line, which I love, love, love. Let's see, last section. Like seriously, if you can see my table right now, it is such a hot mess. I've got so many supplies. So let's just pull everything out of this side. And this is the last of it. Now I realize this is it seems a little bit crazy, but I love stencils. Stencils they may just make you look like you are such a fabulous artist. So I just love them so, so much. Now I love the Tim Holtz stencils. I love that there's just so many different varieties, and because I'm so ADD, I never really know what I want to use until I use it. I just keep them all on a metal ring. These are the large size ones, and these are the minis. You know, these only came out this last year, and I'm having such a love affair with them. They just make me so extremely happy. The only thing that I don't like about these compared to the large ones is that on the large ones, they have the names printed on them. So that's really handy because you know what the stencil is called. So if you ever have to order it again, you don't have to go figure it out. It's already there. These little ones, unfortunately, don't have that on there. So I'm just going to do a better job of making sure that I take really good care of them. So that's that. I have a few more stencils in here because why not? I don't know. I just have a lot of stencils. Stencils are my thing. And Mama loves her some polka dots. I got lots of those. And I really love the Dina Wakley Media. If you notice, I kind of have a theme in these kinds of supplies, my stamps and my stencils. I really like textures. I don't really like actual definable images like flowers or that kind of stuff. I really like polka dots and textures and letters and numbers, but yeah, I don't know if that's just me, but this is my journal, my writing journal that I have. I just started this one. This is a new one. But basically, this is where I do all of my journal. Dear diary, this is what happened today. This is how I'm feeling. Blah, 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 blah. I just love these little journals so much. They're really, really small. And when I'm really like journaling a lot, I can fill up one of these in about a month. So, and I like that it's got like awesome colors, and it's always got a really cool little quote on the front. And I can't remember. This is by Compendium. Yeah. And this particular one is called Live Inspired. So I love these. I get these up at Powell's Bookstore in Portland, Oregon, which if you've never been, I am so sorry. Powell's is divine, but this is where I get these little guys. I've never actually seen them anywhere else, but I think you can order them online. So that's that. And I always keep something in here. Usually I've created it. This is where I've been storing my accordion, one of my accordion journals, and it just slips right in here so I can keep arting right on the top of it. This is where I would pull this out if I want to do some doodling, or maybe I could put some magazine images on them and then doodle them down into it. That's kind of what I would use that for. Sometimes I've slipped little art journals that I've created with 3 rings on them. Those slip in here rather nicely. Or I can put a small actual journal in here, like an art journal or something, or a creative journal. And that works out really well for me. So, believe it or not, that is the entire bag, and it is so smushed now because it really is completely empty. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please let me know. I love, 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 love traveling with art supplies. I honestly, art supplies are not just art supplies, but art supplies in the act of actual arting in itself is so healing for me and stress reducing, and I just love it. The only thing that I would add to this bag is some dark chocolates and probably some chewing gum. And the chewing gum is just because I like chewing gum, but the dark chocolates is because my very first art instructor as an adult, I started doing art journaling probably about 2011. And my very first class that I went to, I was so terrified because I do have some like social anxiety kind of issues, and I was really worried about not knowing anybody there. But she was so sweet and had chocolate in the center of the table and said, if you don't have anything in your art supplies, always make sure that you have chocolate, just to treat yourself and to make sure that you know this is a special occasion, and that you taking time for yourself and pulling your art journal out or whatever art thing you're going to be working on, that having this is really a sacred, special time for you and your soul to like pay attention to each other. And what better way to do that than to treat it to some dark chocolate. So that is probably the only thing I would add to this. Yeah, I know it's a lot. I don't use it all the time, but this little bag goes with me wherever I go. So if you like what you saw, please thumbs up and subscribe, and I will know that you want to see more of these kind of videos. I have got plenty more up my sleeve, honey, plenty more. Anyways, have a great evening. I love you guys so much. I will see you soon. Bye for now.